Cool. So we're quite a small building management company, predominantly based in Camperdown, and I think we've been doing food scraps for probably close to 2.5, 3 years. Um, the first building was originally driven by the committee, so they were actually looking at doing it before we came on board. And we've introduced it into 4 of our buildings. We do have 2 others, but one's in a different council region who are doing food scraps, and another one is a commercial block as well. We are finding it's great uptake. Initially, like the team came out and did the initial on-site visits, which was when the service started. So we had quite a few people uptake prior to the session, but the sessions really drive the people getting on board and getting the caddies. So one of the struggles we had at the beginning is actually keeping the momentum going. Especially with tenancies moving in and out of buildings, you don't know if they've retained the caddy or if they've taken the caddy with them. So what we found was really good as people move into buildings, if we can capture them, we're actually giving them like a little welcome pack that contains some of the council information and give them the opportunity to sign up. We're also asking them if they've already got a caddy, if they know where to get the bags, etc., and how the service works. And the other subset of people obviously is coming as new owners as well. So everybody gets like a little welcome pack coming into our buildings. They get to sign up for the caddies. They come out, and once they've got the caddies, we also do a follow-up as well to make sure they use them, see how they go. Okay, so main thing that we struggled with to begin with was pests. Interestingly, a couple of our buildings have got the bins outside the building, so we don't have any issues with those because they're really well ventilated. The building in particular we had issues with is an enclosed shoot room. Little ventilation, quite enclosed, gets really hot. So we did struggle to begin with like flies and larvae, etc., coming out of the bins. We got around this in a couple of ways. We obviously increased our just like the pest sprays we use in the rooms, but we also noticed a lot of this stuff going into the bins in one particular building was already contaminated. So we actually had bags going in that already had maggots and flies living in it. So with that, it was a couple of broadcast emails, some signage in the bin rooms about making sure your stuff's clean when you put it in, or to spray your bag if there's flies in it before you put it into the bins. That in line with the cleanliness of the bins, it's really important you clean your bins after they've been emptied. So one building we ended up putting hot water into the bin room so the cleaners could actually hose those out properly. And we also found the off-the-shelf bin tags, like bin kill, you can get fly tags that you can actually hook inside the bins as well. They work really well. So we are still getting some pests, we are still getting some flies, but it's generally only the hotter months. Clean your bins, make sure you use your those bin tags work really well, and just make sure you keep your residents updated what they should, make sure they're not putting stuff which is contaminated. So our cleaners on site, which is really helpful, so they can put the bins out when they need to get collected, clean them after every use. We're not using the bin liners, but that's interesting. That's not something we would have considered. So that may be something we can look at as well. We've had a really good response to the uptake of the food scrap bins. We are seeing a reduction in food scrap waste going into the bins. A part of the initial problem we had is there was a lot of cross-contamination going into the food scraps. So we're getting a lot of general waste going in there as well. Simple trick for that is we actually moved the food scrap bins so it's not something you walk past when you go into the normal bins. Less smell, less cleaning requirements on the main waste bins. One really good impact we had as well is with less food scraps going down chutes and waste compactors, we've actually been able to reduce our chute cleaning in 2 of our buildings. So we're having to do it 6 monthly now instead of quarterly. So that's had quite a big impact as well.